You see here, the sun is setting. It's about 20 degrees off the horizon in the west. And there's heavy chemtrails. Everywhere else is pretty blue, but the problem with this type of sky is it has layer upon layer of white haze. So it's not truly blue. They're trying, I don't know why they're trying to hide. It seems like they're trying to hide something by the sun when it's setting. And the moon is relatively close. The new moon is relatively close to the sun, and I cannot find it. When the sun sets, I'll be able to see it for maybe 20 minutes after the sun sets. But it seems highly apparent they're trying to hide something because they chemtrail around the sun when it starts setting heavily. And it's all white haze around the sun. And I'd bet you $100,000 that if I could shine a light, there's trillions of dust particles floating down, because that's what they're spraying. Now, I don't know what it is they're trying to hide. I don't really follow Wormwood or Planet X, Nibiru. I don't follow that. I don't follow orbits. The sun, the moon, they orbit, or they remain airborne because they probably have no mass. They're lights. You know, when I look at a star twinkling and with what appears to be currents of colorful energy, maybe electromagnetic, they don't have any mass. And there's a few verses in the Bible, end time prophecy, where Jesus says the stars will fall from heaven to the earth. And I used to wonder, geez, even if one star fell to the earth, it would incinerate us. But that was a CGI artist rendering star. I had no idea. I've never zoomed in on a star back when I thought that way. Stars are just lights for times, years, seasons, and signs. And they, like light, they have no mass. You cannot weigh light. You know, it's like fire. You can't weigh fire. Okay, I don't know what's going on when the sun starts. When I should have filmed earlier, because there's always a lot of chemtrails around the sun. It's a layer of white haze that's impenetrable. You can't see anything. I couldn't find the moon at all today. The only time I might be able to see the moon is about 10, 20 minutes after the sun sets. Then briefly, the new moon will be apparent. But there is layer upon layer. That is a terrible chemtrail right there. It's not natural. Looks a little like an angel, doesn't it? With wings. But it's a chemtrail. And all that white, that's not light, that's white haze. Okay? And it's terrible. It's terrible what these scumballs are doing. And now it seems like they're trying to hide something. I don't know what the hell it is. I think it has to do with the moon. Okay, and at night it's terrible the way they chemtrail everything. You can't see the stars in their proper glory, colorful light. And I've been arguing with people about Israel. You know, Israel is portrayed as a terrorist country by our media. Attacking, they're surrounded by their enemies. Okay? If you're a Christian, I don't see how you can follow that train of thought. Israel, the land of Israel, Palestine, is the inheritance from God to Abraham, Isaac, and the seed of Jacob, Israel. It's their land. People say, well, they're not the real Jews, these white people from Poland and Germany and Russia. Why would these people pick a plot of land that's surrounded by their enemies to be imposters? I don't think so. I think maybe some degree it could have some relevance, but as a whole, nah, I don't think so. I know they like to show white Jews when they interview them on the fake news media, you know, but the modern Jew is very tan, looks like an Egyptian, or it looks just like an Arab if you ask me. But they like to show the whiter ones the generals, Netanyahu, you know. So they try to portray it as white people being racist against Arabs, and they don't show Hamas and the PLO raining down missiles from apartment buildings. Okay, that one apartment building that they show going down after an Israeli missile hits it, they gave them time to get out. Get out of there, because they're using their own people as shields. Okay, they're firing missiles from populated areas in the Gaza Strip, and then they think, okay, let them fire back, and then we can tell the United Nations, look what they're doing. But the United Nations ignores that the Hamas is firing within the population of the people who dwell in the Gaza Strip, the Arabs that live there, the Palestinians. Okay, and that's a war crime. That's a war crime in itself. You know, making a headquarters amongst the civilians, and then expecting to, you know, to not be fired upon. If you're firing from a certain area, you make that a war. You make that a legal target. You can't do that, because there's missiles raining down on Tel Aviv. All right, this is all biblical prophecy. And we got so much stuff coming. Like Jesus said, not God, Jesus, the Son of God, said that there'll be signs and wonders in the heavens that'll make the hearts of men fail. And I've always considered that. What could make a man's heart fail in the sky? And what are they doing? What did they pass in the law? The release of all classified alien information coming in June and early July. And all the fake news media is going to be on it. Who knows what they're going to be saying? That your cell phone, your tablet is all alien technology, blah, blah, blah. They're going to be here in 90 days again. They come when certain wormholes open up. They're all parasitic liars. Aliens are from the earth. They are demonic entities from the earth impersonating aliens. Do not be deceived by these lies. I got people telling me, oh, the mark of the beast has to be a stamp or a laser tattoo or an implant in your forehead or in your right hand, and they have no discernment, none whatsoever. Okay, if I walk in the front door of my house, I enter through the front door, that doesn't mean that's where I stay. I can go to any place in the house. Don't you understand? Point of entry does not mean that's where I will stay. Like nano chip technology, you can get it in your big toe and it'll travel to the desired heat source, which is your hand and your forehead. Do you get my meaning? People don't, it's not always that people don't have discernment. It's that they don't want to face the truth. You know, they want everything to be all right. You know, when I see biblical prophecy coming true, I'm not afraid. I rejoice. I rejoice that the Bible is again and again true. There's going to be problems with Israel. I will never raise my sword against Israel. My mission will be to convert or tell as many Jews as I can to read Isaiah chapter 53. It is telling you of your Messiah, who has already been to the earth, Yahushua, HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. And he will return with clouds, power, and great glory. Every eye will see him. Every knee will bow, and every tongue will confess that Yeshua, Jesus Christ HaMashiach, is Lord of hosts. You know, people are like that. They're not going to tell you that this is the mark of the beast. The government's not going to say, hey, this is the mark of the beast. Or they're not going to, the Antichrist isn't going to say, hey, I'm the Antichrist. You have to have discernment. You have to be able to identify these things. Test the spirits. There are no other worlds. No one landed on Mars. Mars is a light. It has no mass. I would like someone to show me how they can weigh light. You can't. Mars is just a light. All these pagan name lights in the sky, they do it to contradict the glory of God, Psalms 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament sheweth his handiwork. And they do all they can to contradict that with these dang chemtrails at night that reduce visibility of 100%, 80%, 50%. It's just terrible what they do at night. You see that? That is a, let me see if I could get in on it. That is a chemtrail. And I bet you it's parallel, it's right, it's blocking the moon. I bet you it is, because I got my zoom lens, I got everything out here on the side, and I can't find the moon. I know where it's going to be when the sun sets, but it's not there now, because it's blocked by all this tremendous, terrible white haze. Try looking up at night and tell me if you see a black sky with stars. You will never see a black sky no more. Maybe in certain spots, but in the majority, it's all white haze with faint stars. You cannot see their glory. You cannot see blue, red, yellow, green. And that's what stars are, multicolored lights, currents of some type of energy. Probably electromagnetic in nature. This is just terrible. It's the Sabbath. So I'm going to get this done. Yes, I try to honor the Sabbath. When God says in the Old Testament that something is perpetual, an everlasting covenant, it stands. And Jesus said, I did not come to abolish the law. What part don't people understand about that verse? Jesus says, I did not come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. That not one jot or tittle will pass from the law. Jesus says that the heavens and the earth will pass before one jot or tittle of the law passes. That means to me it's still in effect. You understand this? You argue it because you don't want to be obliged by it. And yes, doing the Sabbath is hard. It's hard. I like to clean. And it seems like every time I practice a Sabbath, something will happen. I'll spill something and I'll be like, geez, I gotta wait till tomorrow night at sunset to wipe it up. And I fail. But I persist. And you know, you gotta compare the Old Testament to the New. They parallel each other. Okay, one book does not abolish another. God said that his laws are perpetual, everlasting covenants. God told the Hebrews that circumcision is an everlasting covenant and a sign that that I am your God and you are my people. Everlasting covenant. Okay, and Paul, he had a big job on his hand. He wanted to convert as many Gentiles as he could, and I could understand. I can see that he wanted to make it a little easier for him. Okay, so he said in the Old Testament is where he gets this verse: circumcise your heart, not your flesh. That's from the Old Testament. Paul didn't just come up with that saying. That's from the Old Testament. Okay, and again, Jesus said, I did not come to abolish the law. That heaven and earth will pass before one jot or one tittle will pass from the law. And that's that. Now this nanochip technology is a terrible thing. You know, like, they can insert it anywhere and it'll travel to a heat source. And the heat source is, Google it if you want, they'll tell you. Some of the stuff you Google is true. They use that truth to then tell you a million lies. But it'll travel to a heat source, which is in your hands or in your forehead. Perfect heat sources for the nano or microchip. And I know one thing I'll never do. I can't say it, but you should know. Got me 2 strikes. Here they go. Here the scumbags start. See all that white haze? You see how it's a little blue and then it's white? That's what it is. It's all throughout the damn sky. All waves of white haze. All terrible white haze. And that's what these scumbags do. People are so stupid. You've been dumbed down, and that's why shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians are #1. Because that's what's important to you. You wish you could live that way, because that's what you've been taught. To show your ass and to use your body. We've been taught to idolize women. Women have been taught that their bodies are tools. You know, the act of making a child is sacred. It's between a married couple. But we're taught that shit like abortion is birth control. Are you effing kidding me? How many people would change their mind if someone like me had the power to put your ass back in the womb of a woman standing in line at the abortion clinic? I think you'd change your mind real quick. You'd have a little more respect for life when it was your own. Well, I can't find the moon. It should be right here. Let's see, let me pause it. Nope. All that right there is all horizontal chemical contrails. I can see them perfectly with my binoculars, but the moon is somewhere behind this garbage that they spray. It obscures the sky horribly. Just how horribly what they're doing. And no, a lot of fools will think in New York State we had a clear day, but it's not. It's a blue sky, but it's a different kind of blue mixed with white haze. Okay, it's just terrible. We are in end times. I believe the tribulation is upon us. They're just smoothing it over because they don't show you on the news what's really going on in each state in America and across the world and in Europe. They're hiding it from you, but it's going on. They're trying to hide the stuff going on in Israel. They're not reporting on it fully. And what they do report is lies against Israel. Israel's under attack, and they're defending themselves. I mean, before 1945, Israel was a wasteland. And now it looks like a garden. They've completely transformed that area. And now people are jealous. It's just terrible what they're doing. That cloud's not even moving in the rain. This is all, my God. This is, if you could see it in real time, the screen doesn't show it, but that's all white haze. And the moon is somewhere behind it. And the sun is setting beyond that tree. But it's terrible. You people better wake up. You better wake up because it's going down. And when they come with this alien deception nonsense this June and July, you better wake up because there are no other worlds. The earth, this ground here, that's the only thing in reality that's solid like that. The earth itself is not in the sky. Okay, the sky is above the earth. If you were over there in Australia, heaven is not upside down. Heaven is above. There aren't two aboves. Okay? If you were, say, at the Antarctic Circle and you looked up, that's not where heaven is, on a ball. Okay, right here where Polaris usually is, right there in the North Pole star, that's where heaven, the direction of heaven is. It's not down there where your fake Sigma Octantis star is. Okay, there's not two pole stars, there's only one pole star. But they'll show you artist renderings and conceptions of this star. Just use the Southern Cross. You can't see this object with the naked eye, and there's a reason why. It's not there. Or if there is a star that coincides with some fake axial tilt, it moves. I promise you that. There's only one star in the heavens above that does not move, and that is the North Pole star they call Polaris. There are no other worlds. My goodness, zoom in. I got a pair of Celestron 25 by 75 binoculars coming because my Bushnell 20X by 50 are dynamite. But I want to try these other jokers and see what I can see. But you know, when you see a group of stars that I used to call galaxies, no, they're clusters of stars. They're not galaxies. That is so stupid. There are no other worlds, I promise you. And shooting stars are not meteorites and stuff burning up in the sky. I hate saying atmosphere because air does not curve. It's so stupid. Okay? There's not an infinite and expanding vacuum above our heads. If there was, there'd be no oxygen and gas on the earth. There's nothing pulling our atmosphere down. I just had a whiff of breeze go by me, and it was going left to right. It wasn't going down. Gas? This guy, man. Okay, we know you got a semi-automatic. This guy's something else when he starts letting them off, but yeah, that's right. This area is Trump country. You know, we got firearms. But what was I saying? You know, gravity, you know, the Earth, a globe Earth would be like a speck of dust in the Mojave Desert. And the Mojave Desert would be an infinite and expanding vacuum. And how could some type of force called gravity pull its atmosphere down against an infinite and expanding vacuum like that? You people are just been dumbed down to believe nonsense. The Earth is not in the sky. It's not within a vacuum. Vacuums can't expand. They have to be contained to even be formed on the Earth. Vacuums are not natural. There are no other worlds. Zoom in on the pagan lights they call Saturn and Mars and Jupiter. They're not solid objects. They're lights with no mass. Multicolored lights. Currents of energy. You've been lied to. You've been dumbed down by guys like Wolfie and all these other scumbags that, in my opinion, know the truth. They know the truth. But they have too much invested. How is some physicist gonna face reality when he paid $100,000 and for a bunch of garbage that is represented with in a piece of paper framed with a blue ribbon on it, diploma? You know how hard it would be for them to say it's all garbage after paying that much money to be now classified as very knowledgeable in it? You're knowledgeable in a bunch of garbage. It's not true. It's not demonstratable. It's all backed up by theory. I was just watching that show, Our Ancient Aliens. I'd like to punch each one of them in the face. I'd like to tell them if you couldn't use or employ animation, you wouldn't have a show. It's all they use is animation. 5,000 satellites, and it's all animation of their infinite outer space galaxies. All bullshit, you people. You people are full of theory. It's all you got. Nothing demonstratable. You've been lied and dumbed down. You need to wake up.